When you're on a plane and the cabin crew explains the oxygen mask during the safety demo, most people are looking at their phones, staring out the window, or simply ignoring it. It's natural to think, this will probably never happen. But aviation history shows us that safety systems are carefully designed to protect lives during rare situations. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into how airplane oxygen mask systems actually work, including the science, engineering, and emergency logic behind them. A commercial airplane typically flies between 30,000 and 40,000 feet. At those altitudes, the atmosphere is much thinner, meaning oxygen pressure is lower. Our bodies rely on oxygen pressure to breathe properly. When pressure drops, the lungs absorb far less oxygen. Without protection, the human body cannot function normally in that environment. That's why airplanes use a cabin pressurization system. The aircraft fuselage creates a sealed environment. Air from the engines or dedicated compressors is used to maintain cabin pressure. The result is a breathable environment that feels similar to being much closer to sea level. This is why passengers don't really notice that the aircraft is flying at such a high altitude. But imagine what happens if cabin pressure suddenly drops. This is called a depressurization event. It can happen rapidly or gradually. In a rapid depressurization, oxygen levels fall within seconds. At that point, the body begins to experience hypoxia, a condition where the brain receives less oxygen than it needs. Early effects may include confusion, dizziness, and impaired judgment. The dangerous part is that reduced awareness makes it harder to recognize what's happening. To protect passengers, aircraft designers built an automatic safety response. When cabin pressure falls below a safe threshold, sensors immediately trigger the oxygen system. Overhead panels open, and oxygen masks drop down in front of passengers. This process happens extremely quickly, faster than a person could react manually. When a passenger pulls the mask toward them, a mechanical trigger activates oxygen flow. Many people assume oxygen comes from large tanks, but that's not usually the case for passenger masks. Instead, aircraft use compact chemical oxygen generators. Pulling the mask starts a controlled chemical reaction inside the generator. This reaction produces heat and releases oxygen in a steady flow for several minutes. Because heat is part of the reaction, passengers might notice a faint warm or burning smell. This is normal and expected during operation. Modern aircraft manufacturers such as Boeing and Airbus design these systems with high reliability and redundancy. The goal is simple: provide immediate breathable oxygen during a cabin emergency. A common question is how long the oxygen supply lasts. Passenger chemical generators typically provide oxygen for about 12 to 20 minutes. While that may sound short, it's carefully calculated. This window gives pilots enough time to perform an emergency descent, a controlled but rapid reduction in altitude, to reach a level where natural oxygen pressure is safe for breathing. Once the aircraft descends to a lower altitude, the surrounding air contains enough oxygen for passengers to breathe normally again. At that point, the situation stabilizes and the crew manages the remainder of the flight. Using the oxygen mask properly is very important. First, pull the mask firmly to activate oxygen flow. Place it over your nose and mouth. Tighten the elastic strap to create a good seal. Then breathe normally. No need to panic or breathe rapidly. The bag attached to the mask may not inflate fully, but oxygen can still be flowing. Visual cues can be misleading, so trust the system. One of the most important instructions from the crew is, put your own mask on first before helping others. In an oxygen-limited environment, seconds matter. Ensuring you are breathing properly allows you to assist others effectively. There's also a psychological aspect to the design. A sudden mask deployment may look dramatic, but the system is engineered to reduce panic. Bright colors, simple activation, and intuitive design help people respond quickly even under stress. Aviation safety is built in layers. Cabin pressurization failures are rare, and pilots train extensively to handle them. The oxygen system acts as a survival buffer, buying critical time during an emergency. What looks like a simple plastic mask is actually the result of chemistry, human physiology, aerospace engineering, and safety psychology working together. It's an elegant solution designed to deliver predictable protection when the unexpected happens. So the next time you watch an airplane safety demonstration, remember, it's not just routine information. It's practical knowledge designed for real-world safety. Even if the event is rare, the system is ready to protect passengers. Flying is one of modern engineering's greatest achievements. The oxygen mask system is a hidden hero, quietly ensuring we can travel safely through high-altitude skies. If you found this video helpful, share it and subscribe to explore more aviation topics. Fly safe and fly informed.